So this here is NBA basketball player Nerlens Noel. Now, I'm going to explain to you, in my opinion, why I think he is the biggest idiot in the history of the NBA. So back around 2011, he was a high school basketball player. He was very highly touted for his defensive prowess. He's about 6'11", 220 pounds, kind of lanky, tall. So eventually he chooses the University of Kentucky to play college basketball at. So in 2012, he's playing for the Wildcats. He's averaging about 10.5 points a game, 4 blocks. And he played about 30 games of the season, and then in a game against Florida, he tears his ACL. He's injured. He has to get help from his teammates to get off the court, and so his season is done. And that was his only season with the Wildcats. So he makes himself eligible for the NBA draft. So instead of going number 1 like he was projected to go, he goes number 6 to the New Orleans Pelicans. And so they're looking at this guy and they're like, well, we're kind of worried about his torn ACL. So they trade him to the Philadelphia 76ers for Jrue Holiday. So Nerlens Noel finds himself with something to prove with the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, his first season, he didn't even play because they wanted to totally rest him up for the next season. So all of 2013, he did not play a lick of basketball. So the following year, he plays. And he averages about 2 blocks a game, about 10 points a game. Again, he has absolutely no offensive range whatsoever outside of 5 feet from the basketball hoop. So he deals with a couple knee surgeries, a couple surgeries on his thumb during his stay with the Philadelphia 76ers. Finally, after a couple years, they kind of start to move off from him, so they go ahead and send him to the Dallas Mavericks. So again, this guy is averaging about maybe 8 points a game. Now his blocks per game have gone down to about 1.5, right? So he goes to the Dallas Mavericks. He plays this season, and he's averaging then about 7-8 points a game. The next year, while he's playing for the Dallas Mavericks, they offered him a $4 million contract. He takes the $4 million, and he has a pretty good season. He's blocking shots. He's making all his dunks. He's shooting 60% from the field. He had a pretty good year. So the Dallas Mavericks offered him a 4-year, $70 million contract to an injury-prone, lanky, skinny, tall guy with absolutely no offensive skills whatsoever. And what does he do? You would think he would take the $17.5 million a year, no state income taxes in Texas. You'd think he would take that, but no. He refused the offer. And so he played out his contract for the $4 million, and he was waiting for a bunch of teams to come up and sign him and give him, millions and millions of dollars, and nobody did. So finally, Oklahoma City, they say, hey, will you play for $2.3 million? And he says, okay. So this guy is currently playing for the Oklahoma City Thunders. He is a backup center. He's averaging about 5 points a game, not even 1 block a game. And this, my friends, is what you don't do. You do not turn down $70 million over 4 years. You don't do that. If you are known to be injury prone, you want to get as much money guaranteed to you for as long as possible. Now, he took a gamble on himself, and he lost big. There is no team in the NBA that will pay this guy any more than $5 million a year. His days of possibly signing a huge contract like that are long gone. Nobody trusts him, and nobody trusts his body. And to make it even worse, going past the $70 million contract that he turned down, the Dallas Mavericks ended up drafting basketball prospect Luka Doncic, who is already at only 19 years old is a very good basketball player. He makes everybody around him better. And Nerlens Noel playing with Luka Doncic would have looked so good that after that 4-year contract, if he would have remained healthy and not had suffered any serious injuries, it's quite possible, because he is still young, that he would have been able to sign yet another contract for, say, $12 to $15 million a year. But because he took the advice of stupid people in his ear that didn't have his best interest in mind, he turned it down and he potentially lost $100 million. $100 million. That is crazy. That is insane. That is generational type money that you do not turn money like that down. And what gets me is his parents are Haitian immigrants. So you would think they would tell him, hey, you should probably take the money because, we're really, really poor. We used to eat dirt back in Haiti, but no, he didn't. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause for Nerlens Noel, the biggest idiot in the history of the NBA.